There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
You're listening to Destination University, a podcast for college-bound teens and the parents, mentors, and educators who support them. If that is you, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, TEDx speaker, college admission strategist, and author of the book, Be Committed, Get Admitted. Welcome to Destination University. We help high school families successfully navigate the college admission process by helping students create an action plan, become interesting applicants, and write compelling essays that increase acceptance letters. As a former admission officer at Vassar College and an elite private school counselor in Los Angeles, I have coached, mentored, guided, and worked directly with over 10,000 students. I know what it takes to get admitted to top 100 colleges. As my gift to you, I'm revealing the exact admission committee process we used at Vassar. It's all in my new guide, 4 questions admission officers ask when deciding who to admit or reject. You can get that at drcynthiacolon.com/admit. In the guide, I share the 4 questions I used in the 12 minutes I had to review an entire application. I give you the order I read the application, what I was looking for, what I highlighted and took note of. If you've ever wondered what admission officers are looking for and how decisions are made, well, today is your lucky day. Again, go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit. Okay, let's get to today's episode.
Ooh. All right. Okay. I'm going to breathe a second. Okay. Questions, type them into the chat, or you can also just raise your hand. I can call on you. And then Mark, if you get your UC application open and ready, just so we can show them what it looks like and how to go about that. One thing I breeze through is the A to G required courses. Type me if you don't know what that means, and it's completely fine. If I need to just explain it. Oh, Catherine. Okay, Stephanie, maybe you answered that question for Catherine. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, got it. Don't know. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this backwards. I'm going to show you the A to G requirements. Those of you who are out-of-state students, I'm going to say out loud, I'm not sure how you go about figuring the A to G thing out. I bet there's a way to just Google UC out-of-state applicants. But for those of you and maybe we can look that up for you and send it to you if you want, but let me just show you. Okay, so I'll show you how I got here. So if I go to Google and I just type in UC AG list, okay, or AG course list, you see all this comes up. So if you go, let me just go here. It will take me to here, okay, which is what I had open. So now, all you have to do, if you're from California, all you have to do is type in your high school. Okay, so I'm going to do Marks. Last night I got it on the first try. I don't think I found it. I did.
NATHA. There you go.
Okay. Dang. Okay. So when you pull up your school, It's going to show you here. First of all, this number right here, 052686, that's the number that is tied to like when you take the SAT, like when it asks for your school code, that's what it's asking for. It's like called your CEB number, I think. Okay, so then here, I click on course list. Now I see for Mark's high school, these are all the courses that fulfill the A requirement. 2 years are required, but you know, he's at a private school, so that he's gonna have more than that. Here are all the courses that fulfill the B requirement, okay? And so on and so forth. So it's important that you have this in your back pocket and the copy of your transcript before you begin the actual application. So Mark, let's go ahead and, okay, good. Make sense, you guys? Now, this is this is the anomaly I'm going to share with you. When you get to G, these are the elective courses. And remember I said Mark goes to a private religious school? Okay, normally all of these, Old Testament, New Testament, anything that's in the like the religion department, like would not be listed here. And especially that's theology 1, 2, 3, 4, like no way. So he's lucky. So if these courses that you have are on your transcript, but not on this list, you're going to list them in the extra additional course in the activity section. I know it doesn't seem to make sense, but trust me, that's what you do with them. Okay. All right, Mark, you're up.
Alrighty. So you want to show you my UC application?
Yeah, share your screen and then I'll walk you through what to show them.
Alrighty. Share.
Okay. So over here on the right, you see where it says academic history. So Mark, go ahead and click on academic history. And it asks you a number of questions about 7th and 8th grade. So if you took a math course or a foreign language course preemptively, right, that would get you some, that would go here, okay? Now, if you scroll down, Mark, once he puts in his high school, Maranatha, now it asks you a bunch of questions. So now it's going to pre-populate for you. So then when he goes in and let's see, where did you enter your, yeah, okay, perfect. So then he goes to 9th grade. Let's just go to 9th grade. Okay, so you go here and then show them, yeah, where you entered your grades.
9th grade.
9th grade. Okay, so he enters his grades here and it's going to basically pre-populate. So if you just pick one, I don't want to share all of your stuff, but it pre-populates from your school, those courses. So all you have to do is check the box as to which course you took in 9th grade. So just let's pick anything, but I think you did. Yeah. And then you're going to populate your grade in semester 1 and semester 2. Here's the good news and bad news. The UC system does not take pluses and minuses. Okay. So that could be good news for many of you. And maybe some of you are like, but I got an A+. It's not going to, it's going to count a 4.0, a 3.0, a 2.0, no matter what. Okay. It's going to give you bumps. And if you have the UC Ivy League Power Playbook, we show you how to calculate your GPA using the APs and all of that. It's, you guys, it's so much information. Okay. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. Then Mark, if you could click over to the activities and awards section, just so they can see what we talked about here and how that all goes. So you add an activity. And then the first thing you're going to do is select which category you're going to import, what you're going to input. So, you put an honors or you put a co-curricular activity. Let's click co-curricular activity. Yeah. And then it goes here. And so right away you see how many characters you have there. Okay. I believe we give you a template. Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong, but or maybe we should send it if we didn't give it to them. We give you a template so that you can draft. We give it to our SA campers and our VIP clients. They get a template so that you can draft out and you can calculate the things before going straight into here. Right. I highly recommend doing that, drafting it out first. Okay. And then we're going to show you some little hacks that you're going to do today. Cool. All right. I think we're going to pause there. Mark, do you want to say anything about the UC application or just the process in general? Any hot tips, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, so it's 20 submissions and it can be anything. It can be 4 awards or 16 extracurriculars. So it's really up to how much you want to put. It's different from Common App schools, how there's like 10 entries specifically for extracurriculars and 5 only for awards. But this application, there's just 20 submissions and you can do anything that they allow you to give. So curricular activities, awards, like volunteer work. And so
Yeah.
it's different.
It's a good point because they used to limit you per category. So, Mark, go back to where you had the 7th and 8th grade. So Elizabeth, the 7th and 8th grade courses don't count in this like GPA and all of that, but there is a place where you can list, and like I said, it's math. So math or foreign language tends to be, right? If you took Spanish or French 1 in 8th grade, then that makes sense because it'll show in freshman year, you're going to be in Spanish 2. Same thing with math. So it doesn't count in your GPA, but they do ask for it if you have that. Okay. Yes, hobbies do count. So remember I was telling you about Sienna? She loved to knit and crochet. She taught herself guitar. These are also some COVID kids too. So this was sort of that. But even before the whole COVID thing, there's plenty of hobbies and activities that you can list. If you are spending time doing it, baking, whatever, maybe you, the baker of your friend group, and you celebrate every birthday and bring it to school. Like that's a thing. Yes, that's for Common App as well. Common App just has limited, 10 spaces versus 20. Let me rephrase. Common App has 10 spaces for co-curriculars and 5 spaces for academic honors. So 15, slightly different than the 20. Okay. All right. So Mark, we're going to stop share your screen. I'm curious to know, we'll start with Mark, but how would you like to see how I work with my VIP clients on how to write their co-curricular section? Are you ready? Type in the chat the number 1 if you want me to show you exactly what I do with someone like Mark. Okay, awesome. Now, all right, so I'm going to start by saying a couple things. So we're recording and we'll take a couple of you after I show you what we do. But this process takes a village. It is a lot of work. It is, as Mark can attest to, it's just so many tedious hours of thing after thing after thing. So when it comes to thinking about how you present yourself, that's the difference, you guys. Everybody, all 220,000 applicants to the UC system have the same things, NHS, some sport, community service, that you all have the same thing. So that's not what makes you different or special, although you're very special, I promise you. What matters is how you present it. So I want you to imagine having a conversation. In Mark's case, he has the opportunity, he has the privilege of having a conversation with me directly. Hey, how should I talk about this? Hey, what about this? And we go back and forth, right? But he's a VIP client. Not everybody has that. Not everybody goes to a private school and has access to a counselor as much as, in public school students have, just a little bit of access. So I want you to imagine that you had the opportunity to have a conversation with someone to bounce ideas off. So that person can be a person, mom, dad, a mentor, a coach. It can also be Google. It can also be ChatGPT. Okay. So I know for some of you, it's like, wait, what? Yeah. Now, LA Unified School District allows their students to use ChatGPT after they go through like a 20 or 30-minute training. Okay. So we're using ChatGPT or Google as an assistant, as like a sounding board. Okay. So if you're cool with that, I'm going to show you what we do. Okay, Mark, I'm going to pull this up, but Mark, share with them just a little bit about your co-curricular activities. What are you involved in? What do you do outside of school?
Okay. Outside of school, does that include sports?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm part of my school's cross country team. And so I've been a captain since sophomore year. And I'm a senior right now, so I've been captain for 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And that entails leading practices, going out with my team on runs because my coach can't run with us. And so that entails going on different routes and going leading them through different workouts, workouts or long distance workouts. And so I have a team of 30 plus now. And so that's a big increase from last year and
Mhm.
to a bigger team. And so entails running on different routes as well as stretching after and before practices.
Did you tell me you're student body president too? Did you say that already?
No, I'm not. And so this year I got the chance to be a student body president. I've been part of student council since freshman year. And so last year I was student council vice president, and now I'm student council president for my senior year. And that now I can a little more hands-on. I overview 4 different teams on student council. It's 30 plus kids. And so there's a media team, marketing team, spirit team, and house leaders.
Okay. Now, so a conversation that I would have with him would be like, okay, think about all those things that you just talked about and pull out the things that make you a better leader. What are the top 3 things that you do in ASB that make you a better leader, a better collaborator, right? So how are we going to hone in on how we talk about his leadership skills? So it's not going to just say like, I'm a leader, we plan homecoming. Well, no, we're going to say through ASB being student body president, I learned these 3 skills on leadership, okay, or these 3 skills on life lessons or whatever. Okay, so we might have that conversation one-on-one, but I'm going to show you you can just do that also here in Google or in Chat GPT. So we might Google give me life lessons learned from cross country. Okay, so now you have some ideas here: mental toughness, patience, teamwork, recovery, adaptability, small wins. Okay, so when you see these, you're like, oh, these are good. Like now you have some ideas of what you can put into your, and in your write-up, and it's going to make it much more like sticky. You're trying to like be sticky. How can you stand out or be sticky for your reader? Okay, give me life lessons. Give me leadership lessons from student council president. Let's see if this works. I don't know if we try this one. Okay, boom. Effective communication, listening, collaboration, delegation, building consensus. So you look at all of these and you think, what kind of leader am I? Am I the communicator? Then pull out all of the words that talk about communication. If you're the collaborator or consensus builder, which I'm guessing that Mark is more that type of person. He's like the fun, energetic, like he likes to connect people. So I would say, okay, Mark, let's pull out these things, right? And do your write-up that's tailored specifically to you and your personality. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful is this? Type it in the chat. Gold. Okay. Okay. Lonnie. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1, you didn't get it? Oh, I'm 10 is being the top. 1 is being the lowest. So just checking to make sure that makes sense. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, Catherine, did that not make sense? Oh, is that 11 or a 1? 10. Okay, good. All right. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to take it one step further, okay? So I share this because sometimes students get a little squeamish about using ChatGPT. So I wanted to show you can use Google and glean some ideas and then like build it from there, okay? Now, I'm going to just, for sake of time, I'm going to copy this, do this. Okay. So this thread already knows Mark. So I'm working again with a rock star, Sabina country. Physical therapist. And then okay. Okay. So what was that one? Student council. Is a student body president and has gained several leadership. Now I'm going to just type that into here. I'm going to say, can you give me 3 to 6 bullets for a resume to highlight collaboration and consensus building? Okay. So I gave it a lot of information. So you figure that out for you. And I've said, give me 3 to 5 bullets for a resume that highlights these things, because these are the things that are specific to Mark. Okay. And so now here it gives us these things. So Mark, I would say to my kiddo, Mark in this case, Mark, take a look at these and which ones do you like the best? You're muted if you're talking.
I like the adapted to changing needs. And I like the last one, promoted teamwork and accountability.
Okay, so great. He loves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullets, 5 and 6. Can you give me 350 characters that we can use for his co-curricular section on application? Okay, so now it gives us this. And first of all, the ChatGPT is never quite right on the character count. But now what I do is I send this to Mark as a thread, and then he can tweak it to fit himself. But now we have something to start with, because most of the time students are just staring. Can I get an amen? Staring at a blank screen like, I don't know what to write. I'm on the basketball team, and all I'm going to say is we practice 4 times a week and we play in tournaments on the weekends. Yeah, you and everybody else. Okay, so now I'm giving you some different ways to think about it so you can frame it so that it makes sense for you. Okay, now here's another thing. ChatGPT already knows he wants to be the best physical therapist. Okay. So then I say, I treat ChatGPT like a dog. You want to affirm, affirm, affirm. This is fabulous. We are going to do one more. Ready? He wants to be a physical therapist. Can you give me 3 to 6 bullets working with his experience on cross country team as a leader, transferable skills to becoming PT. I didn't completely phrase that correctly or as poetically as I wanted to, but I think she, whatever, is gonna do a good job. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, look. Focus on injury prevention, adapted training plans. Now, again, I've given it, like, ChatGPT already knows Mark, although I never use the kid's name, but So there, and then I would do the same thing. I say, Mark, which of these bullets do you like the best? And he's going to tell me which ones do you like, Mark.
I like the first one and second one.
1 and 2. Can you give us 350 characters to focus on these bullets? Okay. Boom. Okay, so now we have a working draft so that we're not starting from like a blank screen. Okay, is that just genius? Okay, type into the chat on a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful is that? Okay, or and if you're ready, I'll do it for you right now. Awesome. Okay, awesome. I see an 8. Susan, how else can I help you? You wanna try? Do I have any courageous leaders in the room who wants to try telling me a little bit about what you do, and we can Google it and ChatGPT it? It's all good. The parent. Okay, good. All right. Anybody? Let's see. Oh, you guys are shy. Or maybe there's a lot of parents in the room. You guys all parents? Where are the kiddos? You guys have the day off, yeah? Yeah,
I would
parents.
volunteer my son, Rowan.
Okay, awesome. Is this Fatima?
It is. I was just walking by his room and I was like, okay, Rowan, volunteer yourself. I just volunteered him.
Okay, I love that. Okay, Rohan, tell me what's your one thing you're involved in, and what you
I
want to
was a
make.
Kairos leader for about 4
Kairos.
days.
Yes, oh, I love Kairos. All my Catholic schools in the house. Hey, and what do you want to major in?
Psychology.
Psychology. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're gonna try something because we don't know if ChatGPT is familiar with Kairos. Okay. Now for a new rock star. Ready? Am I sharing my screen, you guys? Can you guys?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you. Are you familiar with the Catholic retreat known as Kairos? Let's start there. Oh my God. Okay, I'm telling you, this machine is smarter than I am, I swear. Oh my God. Okay, Ron, I was an adult leader in Kairos. Love, love, love. I still have my Kairock. Okay, so this is great. Now, so I always start by, again, I treat ChatGPT like a dog, like a firm, good boy, good boy, good boy. And also feed it as much information as possible, or I start with asking, do you know about fill in the blank? Do you know about, DECA? Do you know about MUN? Like I just throw things at it so that I know what the framework that we're working with. Okay. So I'm going to just jump in and say, I have a rock star wanting to major in psychology, and was a Kairos leader. Give us 4 to 6 bullets or a resume to highlight any leadership and or transferable, you guys need to know that word, transferable skills for a psychology major. Good? Okay, boom, let's see what happens. Okay, Ron is gonna be the new mark here. Okay, Ron, if you can see my screen, tell me which bullets you love the best. You can say all of them, you can say 3 of them, whatever.
Okay, looking at it, I like the second one about guided peers through self-reflection activities. and also provide emotional support.
2 and 4. Can you give us 350 characters? Boom. Okay. So now I'm going to just copy that into the chat to you here. Where are you? Oh, I see you. Okay, boom. So I can do that also, Ron, here. So if I go just to Google, give me leadership lessons learned from being a retreat leader. Specifically, let's see if Google knows Kairos. Here. See if Google knows what a Kairos leader is. Yeah, see, that's why retreat. Let's see if I just take this out. Okay, so if you just make it a little bit more general, you would find this. Okay, so again, those of you who are adverse to using ChatGPT, no worries. You can use Google, which is still using AI. It's really the same thing, you guys. You're using it as a sounding board. You're like, help me phrase things in a way that is beneficial from the perspective of a resume. What you're doing is you're creating, what you are doing is creating a written interview for yourself. Imagine if you could interview for 20 minutes and convince the person across from you to hire you, or in this case, admit you. That's what you're trying to do. In 6 to 10 minutes, you're trying to wrap everything up and be as concise as possible, but you're trying to put your best resume, if you will, forward, literally and figuratively. Okay. So one of the things that here's a golden, just a bonus nugget that we do, and Stephanie knows this too. Stephanie, if you have the link to our 4 questions, the best thing to do at this point, you guys, if you're in it right now, you're a senior, is to get the Power Play essay kit. Like the $33 is like the best deal in town. I promise you. But you boil down, you want to think of yourself, and I talk about this sort of in my TED Talk. The TED Talk is called College Admissions is Not Fair. You can Google that. So Mark is going to be boiled down to 4 sentences, right? So this is how, is it okay if I share my 4 sentences for you? And I might stumble over it, but I'm going to walk away after reading his application, remembering that kid from Pasadena who's an only child who wants to be the best physical therapist in the land and started injury prevention club event for his cross country team. That's it. That's all I'm going to remember. Okay. If you do a good job and follow the steps I'm telling you to do, that is what will result from your application. You want to, at the end of the day, after someone has read 40 applications, they're going to remember. I remember for me, I had the luxury of spending 15 to 17 minutes per application. This is back some time ago, but Vassar College has much fewer applications than UCLA. So I'd read 25 to 30 applications per day. I maybe remembered 5, maybe on a good day, maybe. By the end of the week, that would, in theory, be 25 that I would remember. But by the end of the week, I still remembered about 5, maybe 8 on a good week. Okay, so as the end of the week goes, I start to forget. You want to be the person that sticks. So think about, what are the 4 things I want this person to walk away with and know me as, and just make sure those things are repeated over and over and over again. Not literally, but like Where do you find those values and traits about you in your essays? Where do you find them in your co-curricular section? Where might I even see that? If someone says, I want to major in international politics, well, that's probably on their transcript of courses they took, okay? So where can you become a commercial of yourself? That's gold right there. Okay. I just gave everything away that Mark and I've been working on for like 10 months. All right, guys. Let's see. Stephanie, if you want to pop into the links into the chat again, I cannot emphasize enough to you. Mark, do you want to say anything about the offerings that we have here? The essays, the way we teach essays or anything like that? I'm just going to pull it up.
Yeah, it's quite different from what even my counselors have been teaching me to do. We have a one period throughout the whole week of how we go through essays. And when I was junior, they introduced us all to all these different UC topics. And we went from, okay, which of these 8 different questions did you like? And then start from the questions and pick from there, and then start answering from the questions. Dr. C's way of answering questions is, okay, you have these 4 essential pillars of like who you are, like who am I, what am I good at, why this major, and that way you can touch on different aspects of who the applicant is, and then from those different topics, I can then just insert them into the UC PIQs.
Yeah. This one great thing, I'll just share this quick story about Mark. I love Mark. I have like 15 private clients, and like Mark is, my rock star. And so like a week ago, he's like, oh, I'm going to apply to this school, early action. And we hadn't had it on the list originally. It was on the list, but wasn't necessarily going to be an early action. And I said, oh my gosh, it was like literally due like the next day or something. I said, but what about the supplements? And he's like, Dr. C, I already wrote that. Remember, I'm going to just use that one essay that I wrote. So the essays and our core 4 signature questions are designed so that you can rinse and repeat. Okay. Yes. Will you have to, did he have to add an extra little bit, specific to that school? Of course, but for those, sounds like many of you are parents. I think the biggest shock for parents, Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll ask you to say a few words too. The biggest shock for parents, and I don't even know that when you discover this, but the moment parents discover that there are not just 2 essays, like if you're a Gen X like me, holla, I wrote 1 personal statement, that's it. So now the UCs are 4, and for every common application school that you apply to, that's going to be an additional 2 to as many as 5 additional essays per school. You heard me correctly. Okay. So those students who've gone through our programs, thousands now, use those core 4 for probably a minimum of 8 essays that they have to answer, and as many as 48 essays. And I don't say that to scare you. I say that to tell you there's no reason to reinvent the wheel and write literally 48 different essays. In fact, I don't encourage it, right? At some point, Mark is going to get tired of reading his same essays that he wrote since July in essay camp. And this happens every year with all of my VIPs. I had another one the other day, and I'm like, why are you writing another essay? She's like, because I just wanted to write another one. I'm like, no, but the other one that you wrote has been vetted now 8 times. It's great. If you start again, you're starting from scratch. And that is the biggest mistake that students make, is thinking that they literally have to write a fresh new essay every time. So, Stephanie, you want to add?
I just want to say, and actually Celine just messaged me. She said, I can't even recall writing an essay until graduate school. And time again, do we have parents say the same thing? And really, this process is completely different from, my age group, Dr. Colon's age group. It's a completely different process. So when parents try to dive in and help, usually around this time we get parents, emailing us and saying, help. What do I do? I don't know. I don't know how to work this process. I had a parent this morning. She actually bought the review package first. So she paid to have her kid's application reviewed. This was before the essay kit came out. Then she bought the essay kit. She emailed me this morning and she said, oh my God, I wish I would have connected with you sooner, because all this time, you know, through summer and all of these things that he needs to do, and we had the time to do it. I just didn't think it was going to be this hard and this complicated and this time consuming. So, you know, as parents, we want the best for our kids, and often we think, you know, we can handle it all, but this process is drastically different. So a $33 investment, you know, or an investment to have their application reviewed for $497 is going to be well worth your while. I promise you.
Someone I follow on Instagram, I can't remember his name, but he's just like a motivational. He worked with Kobe Bryant, and like he works with like Michael Jordan in their motivational like mindset coaching. And he's always, I love his quote. He says, if you think the investment is expensive, you don't want the bill on regret. And I say that because the parents I hear from later, or sometimes early on in the process, they're like, I don't want to regret not being able to give my kid whatever they needed to be successful. So you can do a small investment, you can do a bigger investment, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, I'm going to show you the hierarchy chart. Thank you, Mark, for reminding me. And then we're going to say adios. So yes, so yes, we're going to do something with this. And this was so valuable last night to the people that we had last night. We had just opened it up last night for those that were our new customers, and they found such value. So I'm so glad. Look how many people are here. I'm so glad you guys are finding value. So yes, we'll find a way. We'll get Daryl to get this going and maybe get it out to you hopefully by tomorrow. Okay. Does that sound good? While I show you this, type into the chat one last thing. Tell me what you heard any of us say today, and what action step you're going to take in the next 24 hours. Okay.
Dr. Cologne, I gotta hop off. I have an appointment with a kid, but Mark has all the links if you want to, to post them again at the end. So
No. Okay.
good luck, everyone.
All right. So just want to show you this as a last thing. I mentioned here. I'm showing you this one that has some little nuggets here. So this is the hierarchy chart. After I did my TED Talk, I talked about this, but I didn't really have a visual. So this is a visual that I think is much better for you to understand. So level 1 is that school involvement. 95 to 98% of applicants are going to have, all of those things or one of those things. School leadership level 2, I want you to think of selected or elected positions. Mark is an elected student body president. Selected or elected might be editors in chiefs, captains of major sports, things like that. Okay. So that's going to be about 12 to 15% of the applicant pool. The coolness factor level 3 is going to be about 10%, maybe slightly less, but about 10% jobs. So a coolness factor is something you do to benefit and grow or educate yourself. How do you get better? I'm on the club volleyball team. So I speak multiple languages. I invest in the stock market. I have a part-time job because I pay for my, any extras for myself, whatever. Okay. The difference between level 4 and level 5 is that the impact you have on a community. So those of you who are familiar with the Girl Scout Gold Award project, it has 3 main criteria. It has several criteria, but 3 main criteria. 1, do you solve a problem? 2, for a community you're passionate about, and 3, do you spend 80 hours or more? So Sienna, who I mentioned earlier, who's very shy and said, I'm never going to run for office. We found her, what's called the Bead Bag Project, and Beads of Courage. And it's a bead bag project. She sewed, because she liked to sew. She sewed these bead bags for kids with cancer. When they would have their milestones, they would get beads and they would put them in there. So she got to pick the fabric. She went to Joann's fabric store. She picked the fabric. She sewed 100 bead bags over the course of about 14 months. Okay. So she just slowly chipped away. So having a project like that, those of you who have younger kids as well, I'm happy to meet with you, and we do free consultations. So you can sign up for that. But that just makes you interesting. So if you have something like an impact project, be sure to highlight that in your application. And then intellectual curiosity is for our VIPers who are serious about accessing Harvard, Yale, the Harvard, Yale's, Princeton, Stanfords of the world, those that are admitting under, 8% of their applicant pool. We really talk about that. So, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Mark, let's give Mark some snaps, you guys. Okay. All right, let's see. Go and review. I'd like to schedule an essay review at some point. Okay, Ashley, yeah. So when you click on the essay power, but just the power play kit, the $33, the next steps, it'll show you your upgrade options. Okay, so the first upgrade option is the UC Ivy League Power Playbook, and the next one is the review. Okay, so you see that there. All right, everyone. Take action. Don't just listen. Take action, you guys. So happy to be here.
Here's the truth. For nearly 30 years, I have worked at elite private colleges and/or private high schools. I know what well-resourced families do to ensure college success, and I can tell you, if your child is enrolled at a public or religious high school, chances are she or he is already 5 steps behind. However, today is your lucky day. To get you ahead of your private school peers, I have a gift for you. I'm revealing the exact admission committee process we used at Vassar. It's all in my new guide. 4 questions admission officers ask when deciding who to admit or reject. You can go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit to get your copy. I share the 4 questions I used in the 12 minutes I had to review the entire application. If you've ever wondered what admission officers are looking for and how decisions are actually made, you're not alone. Take action now to get 5 steps ahead and begin increasing those acceptance letters. Again, that's Dr. Cynthia Colon, drcynthiacolon.com/admit. That is all I have for you today, my friends. Thank you for tuning in to Destination University. I'm Dr. Cynthia Colon. If this episode has in any way helped, fueled, or inspired you, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. You can subscribe to Destination University wherever you get your podcast. And while you're there, leave us a review. It sure does help a lot. By subscribing and reviewing, you help to grow the community of informed families across the nation. And if you haven't binge listened to our previous seasons, do it. With each episode, you'll learn a new tip, trick, or strategy for success. Start with episode 1, the one word every parent should remove. You'll learn my mom's secret to ensuring college success for her daughters. And once again, if you found value today, please share this episode with 3 families in the next 30 minutes. I'll be sure to see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, wherever you are, may you have a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.